Hi, hello viewers. Welcome to my presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for watching TSAT. Let me start by saying just a few words about my own background. My name is T. Anjaneyulu. I am a 12th standard student of BPC and I am from TTWREIS Boys, Kataram. I am delighted here to tell you about the stem and the stem modification. Before going to start my presentation, I would like to say some words which related to my presentation. When we observe our surrounding areas, we mostly observe plants and trees. When we observe deeply the plants, there are two divisions will appear. Those are, the first one is aerial and the second one is underground. Aerial means the plant which consists and supports leaves, fruits, branches, nodes and internodes, that is aerial, and the underground which supports the roots is known as underground. It only supports the roots and gives nutrients to the stem, and the stem gives the mechanical supports to the parts which it consists. And now let us know about stem and the stem modification. So what is the stem? Stem, the aerial part of any flowering and non-flowering part and which supports the parts of leaves, flowers, branches, fruits, etc. That is known as stem and the stem modification. Here I want to use an example to show the relation between the plants and the humans. When the humans, of course, when we go to a habitat, we automatically adapted to that habitat. In the same way, the plants too get adapted to that habitat which is suitable to their environment. And the stem modification is a permanent morphological structural change in the stem to perform some special functions such as climbing, storage of food, vegetative propagation and protection. These are known as stem modifications. And in the stem modification, there are three types. Those are, the first one is underground stem modification, the second one is aerial stem modification, and the third one in the stem modifications is subaerial stem modification. Now I would like to let you know about underground stem modification. Underground stem modification. Generally, we all know the plants are grows in the aerial part, which means above the ground level. But not all the plants and trees grows in the aerial, means above the ground level. Some are grows in soil also. Those are called underground stems. The underground stems are, and they can withstand unfavorable conditions and become perennial plants. These perennial plants means they become permanent, and these permanent plants performs the vegetative propagation. And as I said in the beginning, these stores the food material. In this underground stem modification, there are four types. Those are, the first one is rhizome, the second one is bulb, the third one is corm, and the fourth one in the underground stem modification is stem tuber. Let us know about the rhizome. As you can see on the screen, this is the rhizome. Rhizomes are non-green with distinct nodes and internodes. These are brownish in color and it is spherical in shape with a flattened base. The most common rhizomes are fleshy due to the storage of food material. The terminal bud contents is the corm, and the scientific name of corm, the original name of corm actually is Colocasia, and the scientific name of Colocasia is Colocasia esculenta. The second one in the underground stem modification is bulb. When we hear this word bulb, we can get a thought that bulb means onion. This bulb have many fleshy scale leaves. The base of the bulb consists a cluster of adventitious roots, and it contains a terminal buds too. The examples for this bulb is onion and garlic bulb. The scientific name of onion is Allium cepa, and the scientific name of garlic is Allium sativum. The next one in this underground stem modification is corm. Corm, the condensed form. This is the condensed form which grows in the vertical direction. This have the nodes and scale leaves. Corm, most of the corm is known as, this corm is generally called colocasia, and as I said in the beginning, colocasia scientific name is Colocasia esculenta. And the fourth one is stem tuber. Tuber, when we hear the word tuber, we automatically know the tuber is a potato. It is a fleshy part of the plant which stores the food material. The potato is the most common tuber largely used as food, and the lower part of the potato gets covered by the adventitious branches. Here I use the word adventitious branches because it does not contain adventitious roots. That's why I said adventitious branches. It is covered with a number of depressions, and those depressions are called eye, and this eye represents a node. As I said in the beginning, this does not contain adventitious roots. Tuber is largely used as food, but it grows very slowly. And now the second main type in this stem modification is aerial stem modification. The aerial stem modification means the plant which grows in the aerial, which opposite to the ground level, is known as aerial stem modification. This stem modifies into aerial forms to perform some special functions such as climbing, food storage, vegetative propagation, and protection. In this aerial stem modification, there are 6 types. The 4 types are main, and the 2 are additional for this 4 which are related. The first one in this aerial stem modification is stem tendrils. The stem tendril, the stem which is modified into a slender, spirally leafless, spirally coiled leafless, and the structure is called tendrils. These are the meant for climbing up. These help the plant to climb up. These tendrils does not contain and may not necessarily contain a branch. The terminal bud gets modified into a tendril. For example, axillary bud is modified into a tendril in cucumber and watermelon. The scientific name of cucumber is Cucumis sativus. The scientific name of watermelon is Citrullus lenatus, and the terminal bud also modified into a tendril in grapevine. The scientific name of grapevine is Vitis. And in the stem tendrils there may be 4 types also. Those are axillary, the second one is extra axillary, and the third one is apical, and the fourth one is floral bud. The example for the axillary is loofah. The example for the axillary is passiflora. Passiflora is a plant which is lies with the support of a tendril, and the second example for the extra axillary is loofah. Loofah also a type of plant which stands with the support of a tendril. The scientific name of loofah is Loofah actangula. Generally we hear this loofah is nothing but a plant in our gardens. Loofah is nothing but a bean plant. And the next example for apical bud is grapevine. The scientific name of grapevine is Vitis. The fourth one in this stem tendrils is floral bud. The floral bud example is Antigonon. The scientific name of Antigonon is Antigonon leptopus. And in the aerial stem modification, the second one is thorns. Thorns, the buds of the stem which modified into woody, straight, pointed and hard structures. These are the thorns as is seen on the screen. Thorns, these are the modified into woody, pointed, straight and hard structures, and these are not and may not bear leaves, flowers and branches. Terminal bud gets modified into tendrils, means thorns. Thorns are used as a defense organs for the to protect it from the grazing animals in the fields, and these thorns are also help to check transpiration. The examples for the thorns are bougainvillea and citrus. The scientific name of bougainvillea is Bougainvillea glabra. The scientific name of citrus is Citrus linatus. Thorns can be distinguished from prickles and spines, as they are deep-seated vascular connections. Prickles are the superficial outgrowths on the plant, and the spines are modified plant organs. The next one in this aerial stem modification is phylloclades. Phylloclades are nothing but xerophytic plants. Xerophytic plants means the plant which grows in the desert areas, which means with the highest temperature and the lower than low raining. These are the leaves which modified into spines or scales, and this is done by controlling the growth of leaves. Basically, these phylloclade leaves are fleshy, green, flat, and also they take part in the process of photosynthesis. Generally, we all know in the plant's body, leaves perform the photosynthesis process, but for these plants that is different. The stem performs the photosynthesis process, because in this type of plants normal green leaves are reduced. That's why the stem performs the photosynthesis and stores the water, and also it's help to check transpiration. The examples for phylloclades are Opuntia, Euphorbia and Casuarina. The scientific name of Opuntia is Opuntia ficus indica. The scientific name of Euphorbia is Euphorbia milli, and the scientific name for the Casuarina is Casuarina equisetifolia. And the fourth one in the aerial stem modification is bulbils. These are modified axillary vegetative floral buds. These are contains nodes and internodes, and these are also meant for storage of food. Generally, these leaves are detached from the parent plant and to develop adventitious root buds. Such buds are called bulbils. They undergo through the vegetative propagation to form a new stem. And the examples for this bulbils is the examples of the bulbils are I'll say you it later. And the main type of the three is subaerial stem modification. The subaerial stem modification means the plant partly underground and partly aerial. And in this subaerial stem modification, the first one is runners. These are the runners. In some plants, subaerial stems spread to new niches to form a new plant, and it is a creeper that runs horizontally on the surface of the soil. The nodes of the runners have scale leaves, adventitious roots as well as axillary buds. These runners, generally we know anything comes from the mother. a large number of runners are produced from the mother runner into all the surfaces of the landforms. Runners break off and develop into independent plant, giving rise to vegetative propagation. In these runners, the example of the runner is strawberry and oxalic. The scientific name of strawberry is Fragaria ananassa. The scientific name of oxalic is Oxalidaceae. And the next one in the subaerial stem modification is stolon. In some plants, a slender lateral branch grows aerially for some time. This grows aerially for some time and then it bends downwards to touch the ground. Here, the terminal bud gives rise to a new branch of the stem. And stolons, after it bends downwards, it touches the ground and produces adventitious roots, and it gives also leafy shoots. And the examples for the stolon is jasmine and nerium. The scientific name of jasmine is Jasminum and the scientific name of nerium is Nerium oleander. In horticulture, branches are lowered down to meet the soil where they strike the root. Such type of natural stolons are found in Mentha spicata. And the third one in the subaerial stem modification is offset. Offset is nothing but one internode length of a lateral branch of aquatic plants. Mostly offsets are found in aquatic plants. And this, if you see the leaves of the offsets, the leaves are in the shape of rose. It bears a rosette of leaves and a tuft of balancing roots. It originates from the axis of the main stem. Examples for the offset is Pisthia and Eichhornia. This is the Pisthia. If you deeply observe this Pisthia, these are the internodes. This is the length between these two Pisthias. This is the length. Have you seen it? Okay. The scientific name of this Pisthia is Pisthia stratiotes. And the leaves are produced above and the adventitious roots are below. In this subaerial stem modification, the fourth one is sucker. In some plants, a part of the stem lies in the underground, and in the sucker, the branches get separated. Before separating from the original plant, it develops adventitious roots and leafy shoots. The examples for the sucker is banana and the chrysanthemum. The scientific name of banana is Musa acuminata and the scientific name of chrysanthemum is Chrysanthemum indicum. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Now I would like to revise main points of my presentation. And what we have learnt so far. In the underground stem modification, there are 4 types. Before going to say the main points, I would like to revise again from starting. I have said you about the stem. What is the stem? The stem, the aerial part of any flowering and non-flowering part which supports the leaves, flowers, fruits, branches, nodes and internodes is known as stem. The stem modification. The stem modification is a permanent morphological structural change in the stem to perform some special functions which is suitable to the environment is called stem modification. In this stem modification, there are mainly three types. Those are, the first one is underground stem modification, the second one is aerial stem modification, and the third one is subaerial stem modification. In this underground stem modification, there are four types. The first one is rhizome, the second one is bulb, the third one is comb, and the fourth one is stem tuber. The scientific name of rhizome, the example for the rhizome is ginger. The scientific name of ginger is Gingiber officinale, and the next one is bulb. The example for the bulb is onion. The scientific name of onion is Allium cepa, and the next example is comb. Comb, the example for the comb is Colocasia. The scientific name of Colocasia is Colocasia esculenta, and the fourth one in the underground stem modification is stem tuber. The example for the stem tuber is potato, and the scientific name of potato is Solanum tuberosum. And in the stem modification, the second type is aerial stem modification. In the aerial stem modification means the plant which grows above the ground level, which means opposite to the ground, is known as aerial stem modification. And in the aerial stem modification, there are six types I have said. The four are main types and the two are additionals for these four, which are related. The first one in the aerial stem modification is stem tendrils. The second one is phylloclades. The third one is thorns, and the fourth one is bulbils. And the additionals for this aerial stem modification is cladodes and thalamus. I have said that additionals, but I have not explained what are the additionals for the aerial stem modification. Now I would like to explain what are those additionals. In the aerial stem modification, the additionals are cladodes and thalamus. Cladodes is a type of phylloclades which are consists only one internode, and these are cylindrical in shape but non-fleshy. These cladodes helps in the process of photosynthesis. In this, leaves are modified into prickles. The next additional is thalamus. Thalamus is a type and is a flower organ which consists flower organs such as calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. And it also contains xylem. Xylem exhibits a clear node and internodes. And thus we have learnt, and thus we have seen how the stem is modified to perform such functions. And a special thanks for my mentor teacher T. Gopalakrishna sir, and my principal Ravinder sir, and my favorite and my lovely secretary sir, Dr. R. S. Praveen Kumar sir, IPS. Thank you for watching TSAT, and thank you for all of you.